Oh, man, it feels like I had too much coffee this morning, and but at the same time, not enough. I
Oh, okay. I see where you're going.
as I say, like this morning was like a rough morning for me, and it was like you're like guzzling coffee, you're like and then you just feel like you can't get enough of it, but then you feel like I shouldn't touch anymore.
Right, because like right now I'm thinking you could use like one more cup.
Yeah, like are my hands are they shaking? Are they still?
No, you're
Like,
good.
is this
You don't have the shakes.
I want the shakes. Okay.
Welcome to the podcast Neighbors Don't Knock, the show where two neighbors drop by for conversations that are fun, relevant, and downright hilarious. Join them and special guests in their mission to talk about anything and everything and laugh about it no matter what. Now, here's your hosts, Brian Chambers and Philip Goffrey.
What has two thumbs and likes hanging out with you?
That guy.
Yeah, there we go. Hey guys,
I feel so loved. I feel so loved.
I could have gone so many ways with that too. We want to thank everyone for tuning in to Neighbors Don't Knock. What's up, all you loyal neighbors out there? How are you guys doing?
It's very like Fat Albert. Like, hey.
Welcome to the
What's
show.
going on?
And no, it's good to be here. It's good to have you guys. We got a great show that we're gonna have today. We got some cool news stories from around the world. Some of them are honestly a little odd. I'm not gonna lie. There are some humor in that a little bit, but also a little of what were you thinking?
Yeah. And,
So-
and the oddity doesn't stop there. We're going to circle around, bring it back home to Texas, right here in the great city of Houston,
As we like to be local.
to discuss a few more odd things that jumped out at us recently.
Yeah, maybe it's October. Is it just the odd month?
The spooky month. Just
Is-
that
well,
weird,
is spooky.
spooky.
Well, not really. Is spooky considered an odd month? Is it? Is October? I mean, even though Halloween is that, what would be the oddest month in your opinion? I mean, I know this might be the oddest episode, but but I don't know what the oddest month would be.
The oddest month, I'd have to figure out which month it was when somebody decided to spell the word Wednesday as it's spelled. That'd be the oddest
The
month.
oddest month. So every week. So.
No, in history, like when they decided on that spelling.
On the official
right?
day when we're like,
If it-
today
Yeah.
is.
If it was September of like 1661,
Really?
then ding, 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 we have a winner.
Wait,
I don't know when
Wednesday's the one day that freaks you out a little bit?
the
Like,
spell. Have you looked at the spelling of that word?
yeah, well, I didn't do well in class. I was one of those. I had to write stuff on my hand to cheat on spelling
Yes,
tests.
that word was specifically designed to absolutely infuriate anybody learning English as a second language.
That was the only word.
There's nothing in that. Not a single part of that word. I can't believe how long we're talking about this.
For those of you that are, if you're understanding any of this and learning English, let us know what your hardest word in English is, because
Oh, God help you if you're learning English on our show.
so we should change our tactics up a little bit, right?
The word, it's awful. Inflection. I don't know. It's really that. Seriously, the poor soul that's learning English from watching you and me. That's terrifying.
Hey, but you know what? We thank you for watching. And, while you're watching, why don't you take a minute to hit that subscribe button so you can like and follow us and never miss any content at all. We drop new episodes every Friday. We got great guests. And, we'd love to have you. So we'd really appreciate it. The puppy dog eyes. Okay, I'm done.
I like it. That's good advice. But I think that before we get into the episode, we should probably hear a word from our sponsor.
Neighbors Don't Knock is produced by C&G Communications. C&G specializes in small batch voiceover and video production for commercial media, podcasting, radio, and more.
Combining years of experience in podcasting, acting, and sales, C&G offers big media products at small business prices.
That's right. To learn more, visit their Facebook page or email them directly at admin@cngcommunications.com.
And now, back to the show.
So we got some great stories, and then, of course, we have our always infamous neighborly advice at the end. And you're going to want to stick around to this episode because we have some special neighborly advice
From a neighbor.
from a neighbor who left us a message. So we're going to share that with you guys at the end of the show. We're getting to our first segment, and I'm very excited for our first segment. You know why? Because I get to press a button.
Ooh.
And right now, we're going to talk about odd stories from around, well, I should say the globe, but mostly the U.S. right now.
You just gave us a news intro.
I know. Isn't that great? Okay.
That was outstanding. I feel like, and I'm Philip Goffrey, and as always with me is Brian Chambers. Brian, bring us the news.
Thank you, Philip. I feel like you have to look at like the teleprompter, like
the weather at your mom's house is dark and stormy.
You got to take that moment. At least it's not as bad as the guy that's on the scene where you have to wait like a second. You're like, all right, to you, Jerry.
I wanted like the papers I could shuffle. They always shuffle the papers.
So they're just like stacking
Yeah,
stuff?
they stack 'em,
Well, now
right?
I don't think they do that. Now I think it's all computer screens. Or I've seen a lot of reporters that literally hold their phone
Yeah.
like this on camera on the news.
Yeah,
and
I'm ashamed of myself because like later in the episode I'll be holding this thing.
Well, that's
so I'm
true.
like,
I mean, I can't say because we're going to be reading some stories of it here, but it was always the news person that was supposed to know and get on camera and
wait,
just
isn't there somebody in their ear?
yeah, or something like that. I don't know.
Teleprompters? What happened to teleprompters?
Well, I guess not on site though.
no.
So I can get that, and maybe it's just easier and less. I don't know. I don't
Maybe do like a selfie stick that they can have sort of off frame.
What are they looking at? Just look. He's like, what is she staring at?
Is it mosquitoes?
Okay, but let's get into some of our odd stories right now. And the first one, I'm gonna. Yeah. Do I need to play it again one more time?
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. So our first story. Ooh, hiss. New York man charged with putting several reptiles in his pants.
Wait, what? First of all, did you just lead that with ooh hiss?
Yeah,
That's
I'm reading
outstanding. That's the actual
That was the
headline?
headline. That was the headline. I was just reading the headline. So this comes from the
Who says journalism is dead? Ooh hiss.
So this guy.
English major, were you?
Oh, did I say ooh? I said oh or oh hiss? Ooh hiss, oh hiss.
Whatever.
I want to make
Oh,
sure,
forgive me.
I want to make
We
sure
may
I get
have
it accurately.
misquoted.
Yes, but this comes from the HuffPost.com, and a man was accused of hiding three Burmese pythons, which, by the way, the world's largest snakes in his pants. One of the world's largest snakes in his
what?
pants. So he hid not just one, but three Burmese pythons in his pants to smuggle them into the U.S. across the Canadian border, from the Canadian-U.S. border in Albany.
In Albany?
Yes.
Of course.
So,
Of course.
so
New York State. I miss you, buddy. Yeah, of course it was Albany, New York. Oh my gosh.
why is Albany so?
Because everything up there is whacked. Like, no offense, all my relatives, I love you guys.
Well, your New York side just came out. It's like it is so
It's
whacked.
so crazy. Albany, 3 Burmese pythons in the guy's pants.
Well,
What?
Now, he's not necessarily saying. It's not saying. I don't know if he's from.
Oh, no.
From
no,
Albany,
he's definitely
but-
not sane. Are you saying
No.
saying or
No,
saying?
I'm not saying
Oh.
he's from Albany. I was looking at and it didn't say that, but
But it happened in Albany.
but it happened in Albany.
good
So
enough.
I don't know. I don't know if he just was like, you know, where's a good place to smuggle pythons, Burmese pythons in? Albany, like right there at Albany, New York, right there.
Yeah.
I don't know if he did his research on that or
I'm
not.
thinking of you, Binghamton, Ithaca, Rochester. Weird stuff happens up your way.
So now I will say this: this happened back in 2018.
Oh,
in
wow.
In July, but he was just arraigned for this crime.
Pandemic woes, I guess. I mean,
we're backlogged.
Yeah.
You know.
I suppose you would make that dude wait, right?
I
Like,
get-
he's not going to get front of the line on this crime.
I'm sorry, we have to deal with murders and all kinds of other things, right?
Can you imagine how many years of jokes for the police department, and then of course for all the lawyers in the courts? Like, is that a python in your pants? Are you just happy? I mean, it's just gonna not. It's not gonna
every
ever
day
stop.
walking up to
Every
him,
day.
and if he's in now he can serve. There's a maximum sentence of 20 years in prison, potential 20 years in prison, and also a $250,000 fine.
Well, you imagine if he's found guilty, he will probably get the maximum term, right? Because what is it? Is it the maximum per incidence? Could they give him 20 years per snake?
It's that doesn't say because his lawyer refused comment to reply for comment. But I'm thinking no because they said the charge carries the potential for a maximum sentence of 20 years in prison.
Okay, a singular charge.
So
Okay,
I'm
it wasn't
thinking
like
that's
3 counts of. It
No,
was just,
I'm thinking like it's like 7 6.5 years or something, per snake or something like
I see.
that. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's just the crime is 20 years and that's it.
Right.
But I don't understand why you needed to smuggle the pythons in.
What is the actual charge? Does it say?
It's for a federal smuggling charge and release pending trial. So it's a smuggling, and these are, I guess these are more native to Asia. These snakes, the Burmese pythons are, and they're very invasive. In Florida,
I can tell you in Connecticut, we didn't grow up with a whole bunch of Burmese pythons slithering around in the woods.
well, they do threaten a lot of native animals and wildlife. I mean, okay, we talked about this in a show past when we got into the whole Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial. And they had issues because they smuggled their dogs, their little teacup dogs, into Australia. And that's a serious thing because Australia, they had to do a public apology. They had to get the dogs out or they would be euthanized. I mean, it's a big deal when you mess with a lot of bringing animals into certain areas when they're not native to that areas because it messes with stuff. So I can understand why all of a sudden, you see Burmese pythons, which are some of the largest snakes in the world, and you're just like, no, you can't do that. We need to talk about this.
Yeah. Now, how do you think this guy decided to shove these things in his pants?
Yeah, I was actually wondering that too.
MC Hammer with the parachute.
The
pants,
parachute pants.
right?
I was wondering. I don't think it would work well. I don't know how young these snakes were.
I'm hoping pretty young.
Yeah, I'm hoping
Otherwise, that's
too.
gonna be a real awkward walk.
Yeah. So I'd like, he obviously didn't tape them to his leg. Like people tape money or something like to their legs and their pants. So I don't know why I was picturing that. He
Like the 16-year-old in high school with the belt trick. You gotta tie that thing down.
Is that real snakeskin? You have no idea. No, I don't know. I really don't know. I have a feeling it was something uncomfortable like jeans.
Oh, you think?
Because
He had
something that he
Burmese pythons in
just
his
saying,
pants, Brian. Of course it was uncomfortable.
he couldn't sit there and have like a loose pair of pants because they'd be slithering out, right? So you have to have some kind of secure pants.
It was probably like a bag inside a
You think though?
Yeah,
with
a
holes
long
in it,
bag,
I hope,
yeah,
or something. I mean,
otherwise they'd slither out.
yeah,
Right?
well,
So-
I mean, I've never tried. I don't know. I've never tried
God,
smuggling.
where's Jake the Snake Roberts when you need him from back in the day, right? How did you keep that thing in that bag?
Well, it's very odd. I don't know what to even think about this, except why do we need to smuggle? I don't know.
Why can't we have an extra count that we can charge this guy with of just pure idiocy, right? You are charged with 3 counts of illegal federally illegal smuggling and 1 count of being a moron.
I'm telling you, after you hear some of these other ones, you other stories, you may want to reserve that right for all of these.
All right.
Okay?
Well, I appreciate the palate cleanser.
Okay,
what do you have
there
for me
you
here,
go.
Brian?
So all right, so this is another one that just makes me kind of roll my eyes a little bit. And when I saw this, at first I looked at this and I saw the title is FDA warns against using NyQuil as a chicken marinade. And when it says FDA warns against using NyQuil as a chicken marinade, I was like, wait a minute, is there maybe something? Was there a reason that there was a recommendation that FDA and now they're warning people? No. I don't know why, but it is another social media phenomenon apparently.
Of course it is.
Of people putting NyQuil or cough syrup on chicken.
Make my day and tell me that this one started in Ithaca, New York, just so I can.
No, not that I'm aware of. And in fact, it doesn't really say where it was started, but it was just a social media phenomenon, and that the FDA was warning against this.
I mean, I imagine that you can get a little bit stoned, right? If you a little bit lightheaded if you cook cough syrup into your meat. Because if you drink enough of it, you have like a
that's funny you say that, because here in the article,
death of all brain cells kind of effect.
It does say boiling a medication can make it much more concentrated and change its properties in other ways, making it more dangerous or harmful for your body. Hello.
Yep. Hey, high school chemistry, Mr. True. I'm looking at you. See, I remember some of these things. Yeah, buddy. Shout out.
Okay, all right. And it says even if you don't eat the chicken, inhaling the medication's vapors while cooking could cause high levels of drugs to enter your body. Could also hurt your lungs. Imagine that.
No kidding. That vaporizing fucking NyQuil is not a good idea. I mean, really, guys? Like, What was a Tide Pod thing they were doing? when
another
they were brushing-
phenomenon. I don't understand that. I mean, I get the being young and stupid and things like that, but there's a difference between, I'm going to try to jump this ramp or something, on my bike versus physically putting a chemical into your body.
Yeah.
Is there a difference? I guess now that I'm thinking about it, it's like, yeah, I shouldn't jump that ravine. I mean, it's like just like
rollerblading down a snow-covered hill at 60 miles an hour.
Maybe stupidity is just stupidity, but for me, it just that seems, for some weird reason, it feels a lot more extreme than something.
Yeah, I was
like
about
that.
to say, being somebody that took young and stupid and extended that into like not so young anymore and still kind of stupid in my life, I still had to draw a line somewhere. And honestly, like if you want to do drugs, just go do drugs. You don't boil NyQuil into your chicken. What's wrong with people?
Live your life, but you understand there are consequences to actions.
Yeah, and let's go ahead. I'm going to use it. I'm going to use that term I can't stand. I'm going to use living your best life. If you are boiling your chicken with NyQuil, you're not living your best life. Like, you're doing something really fucking wrong.
And
guys.
if that is
Come
your
on.
best life, I would argue with you as well that there's got to be something else. There's got to be something else out there.
Yeah, it's time to make a phone call.
Hey, man. Am I driving okay?
I think we're parked, man.
Phone call.
But let me just say this, just for those that were confused with all of that boiling and all that. According to the article, put simply, someone could take a dangerously high amount of cough and cold medication without even realizing it. That's all that it comes down to. It's basically overdosing of medication, and you wouldn't even know you're doing it just because you're trying something stupid, thinking that, this will be fun. No, I'm only going to try it, but it could be a lot more harmful than you actually think. I'm going to put it out there. This is a stupid one to take. This is a stupid one to take.
Yeah, well, a little shout out to one of our favorite comedians. You can't fix stupid.
That's true. Okay, the last one I want to get to, because I do want to jump into your segment. This one I is not funny, but at the same time, it kind of is, but it ranges in that same stupidity mark. Okay, now the
You just got a trend right there. You're like, I got to find the dumbest one I can find.
This one just came across, and I read it, and I was like, oh, that's horrible. And then
the Darwin Awards.
But then I'm just, I was just like, oh my God. Oh, hold on. So the title of this article: 6 women in neon green leotards attack 2 New York subway riders. But so there's a video that shows a group punching 2 19-year-old women on a subway train near Times Square on Sunday.
It's awful.
Yeah, that's absolutely awful. Now, they were in, and I saw pictures of this. They're in, it looks like they're green screens walking around.
I was about to say, you showed me a photo of this before we got on the air tonight, and I'll tell you what, it was
hard for me.
Exactly what it looks like.
It was hard for me to take it seriously.
Yeah.
It was really hard.
Like, it almost looks like a modern actor's nightmare, right? Where the green screen like comes alive and like all these creatures come out of it.
Am I in the next MCU movie? It's like
Totally.
It's like the new Spider-Man. Are they filming right now?
It's even creepier too because they have the eyes and the mouth holes cut out of it,
Yes.
so they have the whole like ghostly green screen thing going on.
I'm sure if we saw a good picture of it, it was probably makeshift with some scissors where they just looked at it and just like cut it out, and it's probably not within the line. It's all like,
I don't think Gucci's coming out and like coming up with these thugs costumes that can go beat people in the middle of the night. Jesus.
So
Goal.
So these are neon green. Neon green is as bright green as you can think. So think green screen on that. Bodysuits. And they come out and they assault these women, and they call themselves, they have a name. And part of me was hesitant to say this because I don't like giving credit, or I don't want to say credit. Or
Right, they want the attention. We're giving them the attention.
Yeah, I don't like giving the attention, but this is just so stupid. They're called the Green Goblin Gang by local media. Now, local media deemed this, so I guess they didn't really. But they apparently have a social media page, and this is where stupidity comes in.
Oh, so very unlikely they'll get caught. Yeah,
yeah, right. I'm just like,
yeah. I mean, New York City with all the cameras around, it's like Gattaca, and they're out there in neon green suits. Yeah, well done, folks.
I mean, so they're assaulting people and probably just trying to take whatever they can, and I don't know. It's very odd. And the fact that they're the Green Goblin Gang, or at least as the media is deeming them, and then they go and they're like, oh, we got exposure. Let's create no one's seen our face. Let's create a social media page. Because just because they can't see your face, you're never going to get caught.
But what's the call?
You know,
here?
the mask can come off. They can take it
Yeah,
off.
but
of you.
what's the call here? The call has to be publicity, right? The call has to be that they're trying to raise awareness of themselves and
well,
get
as
attention.
far as for the social media pages and stuff,
But I mean, even the choice of the outfit in the first place, there must be an end game.
it's not. It's not like they're really hiding as they're coming at people. You know, I mean, usually people that want to.
and it was violent. They were punching, kicking, things like that, but they weren't stabbing or shooting, right? So there was
not to my knowledge.
yeah. So it sounds to me like they're looking to get arrested. They want the attention.
You think they want? Do you think that's? There's easier ways to get arrested, by the way. If for those that are.
Yeah, I bet the assault charge will be minor, and I bet they're going to get all the attention in the media they want. I bet we're helping their cause right now, Green Goblins.
So that is the news right there. So I thought there was some pretty good stories, but we did have a lot of interesting life choices in those articles.
Yeah, and
So-
now the weather with Shamu.
Why Shamu?
I don't know.
Moscow in flames, missiles headed toward New York. Film at 11.
All right. So, but let's get to segment 2. What do you got?
Okay, so this and okay, anyone who lives in Houston, forgive me, little grain of salt here because this is coming from the Chronicle, from HoustonChronicle.com, and you know, Cron, we love you, but
It's a day of news, man. It's a day of news stories.
Yeah, hasn't been the most top-notch reporting on the coast. Step it up, Cron.com. But honestly, but this one's actually kind of fun. So what I came across,
Make better choices. Didn't we just learn that in the last segment?
I came across an article that was taking Guinness Book of World Records dating up to August 10th of this year that are not sports related, although one is arguable, that were either set in Houston or set by Houstonians.
Okay.
And what they actually were looking for was the oddest records they could find.
Okay.
And there's a couple here. It's not going to be very long, but there are a couple here that I thought were pretty fascinating, right? So here, kudos to Houston. I'll give you my top 3.
Okay.
All right, so my top 3. Number 1, the most checkers matches, not chess, checkers matches played simultaneously by an individual. That record was set here in Houston in 1998. How many simultaneous games of checkers do you think that Mr. Ronald Suki King played at one time?
What was his name?
Ronald Suki King.
Suki. All right.
How many? Take a stab at it.
Take a stab. How many did he play?
Simultaneously.
Over. You mentioned part of it to me
Right,
when you were talking about it.
So
like
he's
maybe
playing all of these games
not how many total he's played.
No,
how
no,
many at one time
at
he was
one time
at one time? 5?
to completion.
5?
385.
385.
385 simultaneous games of checkers were played
Was he just like walking around constantly?
to completion at the Houston International Festival on April 26th of 1998.
So what 25 years ago?
So here's how he did it. He strapped on a pair of roller skates to be able to move back and forth between his opponents in order to be able to play that many games at one time without like the day going by.
I would be so frustrated if I was playing him. 300, like if you're
Right.
you're sitting there like, where the heck is he? It's like because it's not like checkers. I understand. Yes, there's some thought in, but it's not like chess.
Good. I was about to say, it's basically the most embarrassing version of the Queen's Gambit that you can possibly come up with.
I was about to
right?
say, like, can you imagine that one guy who goes your move and he's got 200 other games to go before he gets to
just
your game? You know,
King me, mother,
I'm just like,
a triple jump. God,
You know,
you're over there.
either that's very impressive, or he played a 3,000. 300.
No, 385.
Oh, 300. So
385.
385.
Almost
So almost 400 extremely patient checker players. I mean,
They're just hearing the skates in the
Yeah,
distance,
yeah.
like waiting.
that's,
you know,
that's what I'm saying. I'm just like, I had dinner plans.
Right. How embarrassing is that? You have to wait like 10 minutes
For
so this
one
guy
move.
can come kick your ass over and over again.
At checkers.
Yeah, yeah,
Checkers.
and to no great surprise, he's still considered one of the greatest checkers players of all time. So,
Okay.
little shout out to Ronald Suki King right here in Houston. That's number 1.
Okay, cool. There you go.
All right, you ready for number 2?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, this is a good one. So, having grown up with a Nintendo, I know that you're going to appreciate this. In 2014, Houston set the record for the first hospitalization from a Legend of Zelda injury.
Ooh, I'm hooked. I'm intrigued. I want to know. I want to know more.
So allegedly, after Houston area resident Eugene Thompson got into an argument with his girlfriend's estranged husband, he was forced, when the argument turned heated, to pull out his master replica sword from the Legend of Zelda.
You know, what is it? World of Warcraft. They sell all these replica weapons and things.
Dude, evidently this
Are you
thing
now is everyone are you rethinking Nintendo selling these replica weapons?
Evidently, this thing is pretty sharp. He was able to stab the man not once, but twice. He got stabbed in the chest and the leg with the replica sword, putting both men in the hospital, with Thompson having been hit over the head and knocked unconscious with a flower pot.
Wow. Well, I mean, he's got a replica Zelda sword. What are you going to grab? The closest
I'm picturing
thing.
like Mario with the big pots with the plants coming out of them.
Fireball. Pew.
Pew, pew. Okay, so the argument and the fight was so
Where's
bizarre.
Yoshi when you need him? Just
So
to
bizarre
save him
that
up?
Eugene Thompson landed himself in the Guinness Book of World Records. So local Houstonian, and here I am bashing Central New York and Northern New York State, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say we got enough crazies right here.
And we got this guy.
What's up, Eugene? I hope you. I don't know. I hope it's in a case now, or you have.
You ever want to come on the show? Call us. We'll talk.
Do not bring your sword. You know, for something like that, I'm wondering.
You could bring the sword. That'd be kind of fun. Was that the sword?
Is that?
Oh yes, I left his
the
blood on the
infamous-
tip of the.
we laugh now, but we're just like, we're gonna keep you across the table, right? No, the part of me is wondering, because you said this was 2014.
2014.
Okay, when it happened. So obviously it was, he had this for some time, or at least just got it. I don't know. So at least who knows how long he's had this, but he's at least had it since 2014, right?
Yeah, I mean, the real question is, did he practice with it?
Well, with that, I guess that's where I'm leaning at. I don't know, because you can get a replica weapon, and then you can, if it's metal or something, sharpen it and things like that. He could have actually spent time. People weaponize things all the time to make them a lot more than what they actually were sold as.
Yeah.
Or was this something that Nintendo actually sold as a sharp product?
Yeah. Disturbingly enough, there are actually blacksmiths around that will do that stuff. That'll take like replica weapons and toy weapons and turn them into
Well, and then I wonder if
killing machines.
if this was
why we don't know.
Well, I'm wondering then at that point if this was a Nintendo licensed product, or if this was something like you said, like a maker or a blacksmith or somebody that created it as just a replica and for a fan.
Brian, I don't know the answer, but I can tell you without any doubt, someone got sued after that incident.
I'm sure.
Without any doubt.
I'm so glad that no one got killed over that, because when you say, because I've seen those swords, well, I haven't actually seen them in real life. Eugene, I don't want to see it. Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, if they hopefully, obviously they were hospitalized, but when you think of someone getting stabbed with a sword,
They're both hospitalized. Yeah.
I mean, people died in the Middle Ages by getting stabbed with swords.
Often.
Yes.
That
Like,
was often a form of death, actually.
without any way of making it to a doctor or hospital or something. I don't know what, in the Middle Ages, I don't know if they actually had hospitals or, to
Bring in the friar.
yeah, to the shaman or whatever.
Shaman.
Maybe I would. The medicine man or whatever.
Where were the Middle Ages in your recollection, Brian? Because I don't
know. I was trying to think. I have no idea.
I like that.
This one just came out.
I'm pretty sure they would have like hung the shaman and burned him, because that would have been very little problematic for the Middle Ages.
Well, I'm just saying, whoever was treating injuries, we'll put it at that point. Like when you stab someone,
mage, I guess.
yeah, when you stab someone, it doesn't matter. But like with a sword, I mean, that can really impale somebody. It's horrible.
I mean, it really did. Evidently, it's awful. So I'll tell you. So we'll move on.
We don't know the extent of the injuries, just that they were
Just
hospitalized.
enough they were hospitalized.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't say anybody died. So I think they would have had had someone been seriously injured, I think it would have been included in the
Did
article.
he get jail time for that?
I don't know.
Well,
I'm not very,
Eugene.
I mean, this is from the Houston Chronicle. They don't really get into main
That's
details.
right. Eugene, make better choices. I want to put it out there. All right.
live the best life, Eugene. Okay, so staying on the video game theme, we'll get to number 3 here. Number 3 is Houston holds a spot in the Guinness Book of World Records. Specifically, UH holds a spot for having the
That's University of Houston for
University
our listeners
of
who
Houston,
aren't
forgive
local.
me, for offering the first Nintendo Wii-based college course
Wow.
in 2009.
You know, that's actually kind of cool. And I say this only because I was wondering how long it was going to be before gaming consoles and courses were created around things like that, because you can actually become a professional gamer.
Yeah, so interestingly enough, in 2009, University of Houston's Department of Health and Human Performance taught the class they titled Wii Performance, which took place in a converted racquetball course on campus. And it was actually a performing art / health class to learn how technology can be used to work on physical fitness, physical recovery, things like that.
I mean,
So
that
there was
makes sense
lots of-
with the Wii, because that was the whole
Right,
thing about
so
it. It
there
was a
was-
more active. Ooh, sorry. It's more, as I say, more active as I smack around the microphone. It was a more active way to be involved with the gaming world.
Indeed. So everything from yoga all the way to actual racquetball, these
Yeah.
students were getting actual college credits for going twice a week and playing with Nintendo Wiis.
Well, you know, I wish I had that course when I was in
No
college.
kidding.
I'm actually wondering how full the class was and what the wait list was.
You know, I had
Because I'm picturing so many people on that wait list when they get in, like, dude, you know, it's just like, dude, you have a test tomorrow? I was like, I got my Wii tournament tomorrow, my Wii final, man. I'm gonna kick the crap
I've
out
got to
of
make
this.
it level 3 or I don't pass. Fucking like Mario Kart.
Yeah, he's like, dude, I'm doing homework. Leave me alone.
All the poor other students are walking by the racquetball court, all laden with books on the way to class. Beep, 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 beep. You know, they're like, what is going on in
I
there?
know, right?
Yeah, pretty awesome. In fact, I took a class called Introduction to Meditation when I was in college. That seems to me to be a very similar wait list. It was hard to get.
Was
into
it?
that
Was
class.
it? I
You slept. You went to class. You fell asleep for an hour. It was amazing.
just close your eyes.
Yes.
Think deeply.
Yeah, Philip,
right?
how was class? Oh, I was great. I became one with myself. It was amazing. I feel very centered.
Was that it? What was your final like?
I don't know. I was sleeping. Brian, I am not the right person to take and respect that class. I mean, maybe now I could get myself to have enough respect for the teacher and self-respect for myself to actually pay attention. But when I was 20 years old, dude, no. She's like, I want you to close.
I need a nap.
Yeah, I want you to close your eyes. Yeah, gladly.
yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah, instantly. Just
I'll do that
absolutely
right.
Done. Yeah.
Done. Yeah. I mean, it was bad.
Yeah, you know what? I yes, and it wasn't. Was it a physical like PE class type of thing?
But we
Like,
had to like do the whole sit on the floor and
Oh, you just sit up and you had to-
sometimes.
you had to do that with
So-
your
so-
hand.
so
Is
it wasn't required.
For those that are watching on
Yeah,
YouTube,
it
and not
wasn't
seeing
required.
Philip, the hands right now with the little circles, like
Yeah.
hum.
It was encouraged.
It was. It
It
was.
was encouraged.
So
and it was
how did you-
encouraged
how
to make
did you
little
sit?
weird noises.
To the
Like,
hum.
God. Oh,
Hum.
all that freaky deaky hippie shit. It was very like,
How did you sit though? I'm really curious. Did you sit up or did they give you the option to lay flat?
I haven't actually been able to sit up since like 1986, so I'm not sure I can really claim that I sat up. But yeah, I tried.
So you tried. Okay.
I did try. All right,
Well-
so a couple of honorable mentions before we move on because I
Oh.
thought these are kind of cool. You know, Houston, we have, in all sincerity, one of the greatest medical centers in the world.
We do.
So
Bravo,
no
bravo.
surprise here. Houston holds the record for doing the first full skull and cap transplant,
Oh, that's very cool.
which is super, super cool. That was in 2015. A man by the name of James Boyson became the world's first full skull and scalp, excuse me, I said cap earlier, skull and scalp
Well,
transplantation.
I mean, it's kind of a cap.
It is kind of a cap.
It's a hard cap.
Is that not a medical term? Dr. Phil? At Houston Methodist on May 22nd, 2015. 15 hours and involved more than 60 medical professionals to pull that off.
Wow. I mean, just like it's like tagging somebody in for that long. I mean, that's
Pretty amazing.
That's
right?
really amazing.
Pretty amazing. And then staying on medical for one more honorable mention, in 1962, Timmy Jean Lindsay became the first woman to undergo breast implant surgery right here at Houston Jefferson Davis Hospital.
Okay.
And that was the first silicone breast implant ever.
Like
History of the
ever
world.
in the world.
Ever. 1962.
Hey, Houston, the jugs right here. All right. There
Yep.
we go.
So if you
Put-
want to catch
way to
some
put yourself
more-
on the map, 1962.
Indeed. If you want to catch some more of that, you can head over to the HoustonChronicle.com and look up bizarre Guinness World Records, or just go right to the Guinness Book of World Records website.
Oh,
and you can
yes.
find those right there. So well done, Houston. Way to stay on the map.
I know, right? Well, I mean, medical district. I mean, we are proud of that. From being here from Houston, we have it's just an incredible medical system down here.
Yep.
And it's at hospitals and from the cancer center to everything, the cardiology, and it's really incredible. So, okay, so with that good feel, I love that. But we're gonna get into our neighborly advice today. Yeah. And thank you guys for sticking around to the end of the episode because we have a special neighborly advice.
We do.
Okay. This is actually from Julie, who decided to record a message for us on our pod inbox. And you can do so too by going to podinbox.com/neighborsdon'tknock, and you can leave a free audio message, which might end up on the show, just like Julie's.
Might. Yeah, we have made threats/promises that this could happen. So I'm very excited to actually share one of our messages.
I know. So here we go. This is our neighborly advice from Julie.
Hey neighbors, this is Julie, and I'm calling to talk about cupcakes. The right way to eat a cupcake, which is, of course, to tear it apart and put the bottom on the top so your frosting is smashed in the middle. It's never ever to eat the cake first, leaving a chunk of frosting in your hand.
Okay. So first of all, thank you, Julie.
Yeah, thank you for that, Julie. You just my gears are turning having heard that again now. And you make a cupcake sandwich. It just makes sense.
How do you eat a cupcake?
Well, like
I've never-
that from now on.
Well, okay. Well, I've never actually thought about it because I peel just enough of it, and I go all for it because I like kind of going at. I want the icing with the cake.
Yeah, see, I'm disgusting, so I usually just eat the whole icing.
Oh, you stuff it like straight
cap.
in your mouth.
Yeah, but I just leave whatever cakey crumbles left and blah.
Oh, you don't like lick the
No,
the
not that-
foil or
no.
whatever it is, the cupcake thing. Okay, well, I guess that's thinking about it now, that's kind of a clean way to eat a cupcake.
It is. It's very efficient. Julie,
yeah.
are you an engineer?
Well, we do thank you for that.
Like phoning in from the Johnson Space Center.
Yeah, you're right. By the way, you should all eat that's how the astronauts do it. That way, if it bounces off something, minimal icing damage or, debris.
When you were a kid, were the Hostess ones popular in your house? That have like the white squiggles down the center, the chocolate.
We didn't get a lot of sweets like that growing up, but I loved the ding dongs.
Oh.
Yeah, those were my favorite. So
Very nice. Were you a Twinkie guy?
oh yes, we did have Twinkies. Actually,
You had
we
Twinkies?
were more.
Didn't
fruit-
get a lot of
we
sweets,
were
but we
more
had Twinkies.
we were more fruit roll-ups than Twinkies.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, fair enough.
But again, because the sweets, my mom just couldn't keep in the house because we would just raid the pantry and they're
Yeah,
just
there were
gone.
like 50 of you making
Yeah.
lemmings just going over the edge of the counter trying to get to the...
All right. Well, thank you, Julie, for that. And again, if you guys want to leave a message that might end up on the show, you can go to podinbox.com/neighborsdon'tknock. Leave us a free audio message. Hey, we'd love to hear from you. Or leave a message on our YouTube channel or on the podcast, wherever you listen.
Indeed. And local Houstonians, we are looking to you. We would love to hear from you if you have ideas for the show, if you have ideas for guests, any businesses you think might want to be on the show, or maybe even look at sponsorship opportunities. We have quite a few coming up for season 6.
Yeah, and also, by the way, there's going to be a giveaway coming up in one of our episodes, so you're going to want to make sure that you are paying attention to that. So, like I said, it's some merch, some free merch. Well, Philip, I think we are about out of time today. I think we're ready to wrap this one
I
up.
think so too, Brian.
So-
Thank you so much for stopping by. Be sure to stop by next week. We have a great guest coming on, as always.
Yes, another neighbor stops by to expand that neighborhood. And make sure that you catch new episodes every Friday. Like, follow, and subscribe on social media or wherever you listen to the podcast. And we will catch you guys next Friday. Peace!
Out.
I should try and incorporate the news thing into that. Like our little ending.
Tonight on NBK.
All right, let's get out of here.